Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Bauman and I will be analyzing Minecraft Education Edition. So as its name says, it is the Minecraft game. It is just more educational based. Some skills that it touches on is communication and collaboration, creativity, social emotional, and critical thinking. And it's great for instructional design, game-based learning, project-based learning, and social emotional learning. And it is used in grades kindergarten through 12th grade. So it does cost $5 for the whole year, but some schools and districts who already have Minecraft EDU, which was an older edition, can get the new education edition for free. There's also a lot of educators who can get it free when you sign up with your school email. And so I took a screenshot of it here. If you select educator, need an account, enter your address or your email address, they'll actually check your address and see if you're eligible for a free account or not. Some features of the website is they have individual logins for you yourself as a teacher, but also for each student. So that can be a con for some teachers, as it is a lengthy process to get every student signed in depending on the age group you are working with. They have an amazing professional learning community on the website. So they have a world that you can look at and learn and see how they set it up. There's a lot of training videos to help you get started. It comes with already pre-made lesson plans. So if you're struggling on how to tie it to your curriculum, or align it to standards, they already have lesson plans implemented for you to use. And you can also share your own lesson plans if you're willing to do that. They have downloadable worlds. They're templates that you can use for each individual lesson. And they also have a community link where you connect with trainers, experienced mentors, and other educators who are enthusiastic about the game. They have a classroom mode, which is more educational based for you to use as a teacher. And they also have certain controls for you when you're first setting up your world that you can limit students, the range that they're moving in the world, where they're going, whether they have to stick with the lesson or they can explore more. So the controls are a great asset to have as a teacher. You also have the advantage of communicating directly with your students. There is a messaging that you can use while on the website, and you can either do that whole group or individual. And last is a camera tool where students can actually take a picture of their creations that they made, and a lot of teachers use these to create a portfolio for their work, and it's great to show where they started and the process of how they ended up with their end result. So unfortunately, I am on my personal laptop, so it's not as high tech as my school laptop where my account is with all of its features. But when you log in, you will see this homepage, which has your different subjects. So if you teach different classes, you can set them all up here. Your age groups and any badges that you win throughout your use on Minecraft Education Edition. There's a bunch of lessons for you. Here are some examples of them. They align to social studies, science, math, ELA, things like that. And down below are some trainings that you can use to kind of get handy with using the website. They also have a download button up here, which is where you will actually download it onto your computer, and that's where you'll build up your world and set all your teacher controls and assignments for your students to access. So as mentioned before, this tool is very efficient in helping your students collaborate and communicate with one another. As a teacher, you can make assignments for your students to create individually or working with peers or in whole groups. And that allows the students to work real time with their peers, whether they're in the same classroom or not. So looking at our table here, the reflection piece was something I found very unique to this website, since you are able to create a portfolio and showing your learning process of where you started and how you got to your ending point. I think that's huge to look back on and reflect on your work as a student. Another great feature about this tool is the project-based learning that comes out of it. The students are coding and moving materials around to create and answer your questions in a more unique way. And it is awesome because you can align it to a global aspect, or if you're working with another classroom in your building, you can connect it through that as well if you and the teacher want to collaborate. For feedback from the teacher, there is live chat, discussion forums for the students to collaborate on, audio and voice recording. So a lot of great features that help promote that social presence for your students. Looking at the social presence model, for the effective association, I said that there is private messaging for feedback for your students on their projects and assignments, which is great because you can either give feedback to the whole group that completed your assignment or individual, and it lets you collaborate or show that collaboration among those peers that work together in that group. For community cohesion, as mentioned before, you can collaborate real time with peers and work together on assignments. Interactive intensity is up to the student, so if you give them an assignment, they can go above and beyond, create a unique world, use different blocks to build and answer those questions that you have for them in their assignment, or they can just do the bare minimum and meet the requirements of the assignment. So it's really up to the student and how creative they want to get with their answers. For knowledge and experience, at least speaking for myself, most students have prior knowledge about the game Minecraft, so presenting this to them just kind of lights a fire in them. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to play. Even when they find out that it's more educational based, they're still excited. They still have a lot of motivation behind it. And even if there isn't a prior knowledge about the game itself, it is very quick for these kids to catch on and learn how to play. For the instructor involvement, as mentioned previously, teachers set up the world, and then you can put on different constraints, teacher mode, classroom mode, lock certain tools, open certain tools for your students. So setting up the world is very teacher controlled, but once you kind of open it up and you open an assignment, open up a project, it is very student-centered. So they can proceed on their own, and the teacher is kind of there as a guide to help them through each assignment. So looking at my personal content, and I do teach kindergarten, so I'm very limited with what I can do. Math is the obvious one for me. So if I'm asking my students to show me different shapes, show me 3D versus 2D shapes, I can have them create a world that is just has 3D shapes, or create me a world that has, a certain amount of cubes, a certain amount of spheres, things like that. So there's different requirements that they have to put into their world. They can create whatever world they want, but it has to have, these 3 requirements in it, with it being 3D shapes. I can also use it for addition and subtraction. Create me a world that you're living on a farm and you have these 3 cows, and then these 3 cows run away. How many are left? Things like that. Or, your neighbor or your other project that you're working on with your group members, they win a prize and they win 3 more cows, so you can add it to your farm. So there's just a lot of fun personal content that I can use with math. So most of my content would probably be centered around math if I were to use this tool in my classroom.